On our way to today's hike. Not too far away from my place, but as you can tell, it's wilderness right outside my place. So let's go. Hey beautifuls, welcome to today's walk. Today we're just gonna stick to the trail that's gonna come on that way behind me. We're gonna stick to something simple today. It's about -5 degrees Celsius and nice brisk walk through the woods today, see what we can find. Probably not much, maybe a scalamuffin or a megalocock or something. Did I say cock? Maybe we'll find one of those. Ah! It's fairly close to the city. It's used for cross-country skiing and a walking path. Don't walk on the cross-country ski path. And if anybody catches you doing that, they'll fucking skewer you to that fucking tree right there. So, the unwritten rules of the hiking woods in the winter. Stay on your own goddamn path. Still in the woods where the wind hasn't really got to the branches. There's still some snow sticking to some of the trees in here. We're a little bit deeper in the woods now, so there's not a lot of light. But you can probably hear the birds carrying on as I disturb them, trudging through this area. I haven't seen anyone on the trail today, but we're gonna keep moving on. So I don't know if you recall from my last tour out here, I got mauled by a couple of cougars and then got bitch slapped by a Canadian beaver. Oh, wait a second. Those are my last 2 dates. Never mind. Pushing on through the woods. So I said earlier, hope to find Multuk. They're a skittish animal native to the Canadian north up here. Kind of look like half a deer, half of a dog. Kind of only about maybe 2.5 feet high. One of the very few mammals on Earth that survive on a totally mineral diet. So where they get their nutrition from is by eating literally dirt. And they can eat small pebbles and stones and things, and the acid in their stomach is extremely harsh. You can always tell there's one around because their shit smells so fucking bad. So hopefully we'll get to see a Multuk at some point. As I say, a skittish animal, but if we're good, we'll sneak up on one and you'll be able to see one of the rare animals of the great Canadian North. And the nuthatches throughout the forest as you go. Just the crunching of your shoes on the snow. Man, this is fucking awesome. As you can see, we've got the telltale signs of Multuk. You can see the strides through the snow. They're unlike others where most most animals don't have the drag through the snow, but this one, the Multuk do. They tend to slide their feet as they go through the snow. So there's one around, and hopefully we'll see it. Another thing we're going to be looking for is they've dug up the snow to get at the ground, the frozen ground underneath, and so they can either lick the salts out of and minerals out of the ground or eat it. So hopefully we'll be in a good state of seeing a Multuk. So you might be wondering, you probably see this sweater on a lot. It is my go-to outdoor hiking gear, as well as my shit kicker boots. And I usually have kind of like a buff that goes around my neck, and kind of like a skull cap that sticks tight, that really holds in the heat. But as I say, I had that run-in with the cougar and the beaver. They took everything from me. So I've got a scarf today and a wool hat. It's doing the job until I get, new gear. Fuck those bitches. Ugh. Cougars, beavers. The horrendous, the horrendous smell of the Multuk's feces. And here we have a major splattering of the carnage that comes out of the beast's ass. It's like red, fiery red. I don't know if you can see the color, but it's fiery red, and it's just like explosive, like fucking, and it fucking reeks. It is so foul. Oh my God. So we know they're around anyway, and we'll hunt them down like the Multuk beasts that they are. And here we have some deer tracks, obviously indicative of the two-toed hoof. It's a relatively small one coming through here. And it looks like it was alone, so I don't see any other ones around. That means it's food for the wolves. Maybe. You can see right up the other thing that the Multuk are known for is they're able to climb trees. And I think I spot one up there, right up there. Shit. Oh. So I slipped, and I scared it away. So I'm really sorry about that. It was right up there in the tree, and fuck, I lost my footing on the trail and just made too much noise, and fuck. Really why you guys wanted to see a Multuk today, but not gonna happen, so. Maybe. Still got a long way to go. Up and at 'em. So as I say, we're gonna stick to the trail today. Not gonna deviate too far off of it, if at all. No real point. Through here is kind of a marshy area. I know on the other side over here, there's definitely a swamp in through there, so we're just gonna stick to the trail. As you can see, there's trail markers, bonk, right there. Keep everybody on the path. But I mean, once it's well groomed with other people on it and stuff like that, you can actually see right up here where this is actually a bridge going through the marshy area. So it's all frozen over now, but I'm gonna get up on the bridge maybe just in case, because you never know how deep or how frozen that water is gonna be. Whoa! Tough. It's really tough being a Canadian some days. Sun has come out. We have some nice shadows. The sun through the hazy sky. What a beautiful day. Found some older Multuk tracks before the snow. Elusive beasts they are. So, just so you know, there's no fucking such thing as a Multuk. I just made that shit up. Usually you don't see much out in the woods in the winter. Everything's really well camouflaged with the white snow, and I have no idea what a deer and a dog would look like together. Probably pretty messed up. And whoever thought of a deer dog climbing trees anyway? Anything to make the hike a little bit more interesting. Like I said, we're in some marshy land, so you can see how the trail goes through this swamp area here, and water sneaks up. It's all frozen now, so we don't have to worry about it. This is the swamp that we're trekking through right now. You can see all the tracks in the snow. Sorry if it's a little bouncy. It's hard to keep your footing through the soft snow. One of the major cycle throughways that take all the rural communities and bring them into the city. This is one of kind of like the main, bike highway, I'll call it, that comes from the rural communities, and it goes all the way down and it collects as they go into the heart of the city. So it's amazing. You can actually cycle all the way. If you live out of town, you can cycle all the way into work in the summer if you live working downtown, or in this case, you can ski the entire time all the way down. And they do groom it. It hasn't been groomed, obviously, this week that I can see since our last snowfall, but it's good enough that you can get out and enjoy the day. You find a lot of these tracks. They go off the main trail here, and we're far enough down into the trail that you have these little scoot tracks and whatnot, but they end right behind those trees. And then there's a little yellow spot. Well, beautifuls, we're at the end of the trek for today. Whew, that last bit, a little bit deeper snow. So I think next time when I come out, I'm gonna get my snowshoes on and do some bushwhacking, which could also be my next date. Bushwhacking. Until next time, beautifuls. Stay tingly. Earbuds in.